Los Lomas kind of took over the game there in the second quarter. After the 10-0 lead, they stopped Campo a few times. I guess
they did.
Continued doing that here. Now this is the touchdown, Tony.
Now you see this is going to be a second play from scrimmage, Dan. That's going to be 91 yards. As long before that, Pius was 85, and bam, just like that, he's got 91. But you got to give Los Lomas some credit, Dan. The Cougars are scoring over 40 points a game. They've got 10.
Right, and that's called rack yardage, run after catch.
Run after catch.
This was just bullying your way through yardage.
And that's Villa coming over for the touchdown, Dan, and that completed a 65-yard drive after Los Lomas had trailed 10-0. So that was a very important drive to get them back in the ballgame, or at least keep them in a position where they're not going to be 3 scores down at some point.
And that last highlight was of a kickoff return that went nowhere, but Matt thought he'd just throw that in to see if we were watching. Still got 2 minutes, Tony, so we can talk a little bit about this. So Los Lomas, as we mentioned, was starting to get some tackles from their linebackers, tackles from their line. Campo was not able to effectively run the ball at all as we look at the standings here. Campolindo. I talked to Coach Macy about this. We talked about it earlier, about the fact that they were picked to finish last. Because I always like to read about, things have changed out here since we were doing games. De La Salle's in the EBAL now. Doherty Valley joined this league. All the Concord schools have their own little league, and all the Antioch, Pittsburgh area, Brentwood schools have their league out there now. So things have changed a little bit, but Coach Macy and Coach Longero are always good guys to be around and talk to about football, and you always read about them. And when I was reading the preview in the paper this year, Campolindo picked last. I was a little surprised,
And they were only 5-5 a year ago. And you talk about, there's not a whole lot of people at this school. They don't have a whole lot of big guys in the front line. Sometimes when you look at certain things like that, as we took a look at that Campolindo sideline, you say, well, how good could these guys possibly be? Then you forget how good, talented they are, how good Coach Macy is, if he can draw up a good game plan. And, boy, the prognosticators completely missed the boat on Campolindo here in 2011.
And he is Mr. Football. And, of course, there's the riverboat gambler, Doug Longero. Doug looks like he needs some NyQuil in that photo right there.
It's cold and flu season.
Yes, it is. Coach Macy is the JV coach as well. So at Campolindo, you got to wear a lot of hats.
Wow.
I actually happened to run into him. Our good friend and former colleague, Clay Callum, was
yes.
coaching at Campolindo.
Campolindo coach, right?
He's at Bentley, back at Bentley again. He's the assistant athletic director and high school coach there. But I ran into Coach Macy, and he asked, when are you guys going to be back on? And I said, well, Tony's got a year or two of house arrest still to serve, and then maybe that'll happen, and, of course, it has. So
I got to stop drinking.
I'm telling you, I know. That's what happens when you give us 2 minutes to talk. So Campo's going to kick off to Los Lomas, and Mr. Schultz is going to call the third quarter.
Yeah, should be a good one here. An exciting first half, low scoring, but plenty of action packed in the first 2 quarters of play. And now Campolindo getting set to kick off. And there's Antonzana, who does have a field goal here today. Both kickers with a field goal. Mitch Howard also nailed one. So Antonzana lining it up here, ready to kick off. A fresh 12 minutes on the third quarter clock, and the clock in the second half is underway as a high kick is going to go out of bounds. Penalty flags fly. So good starting field position here for their first drive for Los Lomas.
Now that's a strategy I don't understand. That's twice now. The last time they did this, Los Lomas got the ball at the 35 and drove 65 yards for a touchdown. And now they're going to get the ball and have the ability or chance to drive 35 yards for a touchdown.
Now, the only thing
if you're kicking, though, Tony, isn't that good? Why don't you just try an onside kick? It's only another couple yards past where the ball's going to go anyway.
But apparently you just don't want to risk the big return. All right, Wood, handoff, Villa trying that left side again, has some room, out across the 40, Dan, down to about the 43-yard line, an 8-yard gain on first down will bring up second down and 2.
Nate McDonald made the tackle there, but we saw that play a number of times in the first half, running over the left side, picking his way through that time and getting some yardage. And as we mentioned, when you see linebackers and you see defensive backs, you usually have a nice gain there.
That's Frantescu and Som over there on that left side. That's where the Los Lomas Knights, that's kind of their bread and butter play going over that side. So we're going to see a lot more of that here in the second half. Play action fake. Runners going deep down the field. Throwing over there. It's going to be intercepted here at the 30, 35, 40. It's Graziano cutting it to the far side. 45, cross midfield and into Knights territory down at the 48. That's Griffin Pyatt, on the interception. And Pyatt going to pick up 22 yards on that return.
You can just watch this ball kind of flutter out there, as Steve Sanchez, our former colleague, said, looked like a wounded duck. And Pyatt, playing deep safety, comes over, and it's just an easy pick for him.
Boy, Pyatt, that's just one that you just got to hang on to, but he also did make a nice return out of it. And here from the 48-yard line, following that interception and return by Pyatt. And Campolindo in business here, leading by 3. Opening minute of the third quarter here from Walnut Creek. And trying to go off the left side is Campolindo. And that's going to be a couple of yard gain. And Ibarle with that carry. And he's going to be out across the 45, inside the 45, down to about the 47.
He ran a little trap play on the left side. Good block to get him free of the line of scrimmage, and then some good physical play. Well, a trademark of Los Lomas teams always was good physical play. They were always a physical team.
Second down and 5 now, following the 5-yard Ibarle run. And Ibarle, the tailback here in the I formation, man in motion coming here to the near side. And they're going to give it to the up back this time, who's got some nice room. And that looks like it's going to be Rosenbaum. He had that fumble earlier, but right back with the football here. And he's going to get out across the 40 down to the 39-yard line, pick up about 4 yards down. It's going to bring up third down and 1 now from the Los Lomas 39.
And they're running on their left side behind Weisler and Meyer. So both teams like the left side of their line, and it's getting the job done here in the third quarter.
And that's how a quick hitter, Dan, giving it to the up back. Looked like it caught Los Lomas a little bit by surprise. So an effective play there on second down. Now third down and 1. Handoff. That's going to be the Z-back this time who's going to get it. That is number 2, Carl Thornton. And Carl Thornton's going to pick up about 2, maybe 3 yards, and that's going to be a first down for Campolindo. You like that Z-back. It's kind of what Los Lomas uses. He comes in motion, you hand it to him, and you see what can happen.
That time it was just to get the 2 yards. That's all they wanted to do there was get a first down, and they did. Good blocking by the interior line. That time kind of collapsed the defensive line of Los Lomas, and he jumped ahead for a 2-yard gain. Los Lomas runs that play a lot faster and a lot wider and tries to get a seam outside,
they're looking for the big
outside
play
the tackles, trying to get a big play. Exactly.
Definitely. All right, a couple of wide receivers, including Pyatt here, split out to the near side. 3 wide receivers set. Here's Stevens, throws into a crowd, but completes it down close to the 40-yard line. And that's going to be number 2. That is Carl Thornton again. And Carl Thornton going to be, I think, just short of the 40. Or no, I could put him out on the 30-yard line. So another nice game there. Just kind of stop and look for some open space.
That's it. I don't even know if what that pattern is. You know, there's a hook and there's a button hook and a stop pattern, and that was just kind of like.
I kind of call it the sit down. You
sit down and get open.
Down. Find a soft spot in that zone or find it in front of the defender and make the catch. So 7 yards there for Thornton on first down, bringing up second down and 3 now from the Los Lomas 30. Here's Pyatt, one-on-one out here to the near side. Let's see if they get some action going on over there. Handoff left side. This time they got it stacked up and keeping the legs churning and picking up a few yards and looked like the first down. And it's going to be Rosenbaum again. No, excuse me, Ibarle. And Ibarle kind of ran into his own blocker that time as he was tied up with number 9, Adam Wood.
It was Thornton and Wood that were
tied up.
They were.
Ibarle kind of ran into him.
Kind of looked like a wrestling hold.
Yeah, and just kind of peeled off and able to pick up the first down. And there's Coach Macy. 16th season at the helm.
His son is over there as well on the sideline.
So first down and 10 now from the Los Lomas 26-yard line. Going to change the play. They will audibilize here a little bit, Dan, depending on coverage. Stevens back, short drop. Now running to his left, being chased. Now he's going to pull it down and run. 25-20, down the sideline, inside the 10. They're going to mark him out of bounds at about the 11, maybe 12-yard line. So that's going to be another first down. And Nick Abramson came up to make the tackle here. So I think it's a play there, but a nice run there again by the quarterback.
You can see the majority of the Los Lomas defenders were on the right side of the initial snap position, and you could see just a lot of room. And that's exactly what Stevens took advantage of before Abramson came over and pushed him pretty close to the snack bar area over there.
Now we've seen Stevens do that a couple of times here today, Dan, make the right decision on when to run and when to pass, and a couple times using his legs, able to pick up some good yardage. So first down and 10 now, operating from the 12-yard line is Campolindo. From the Los Lomas 12, first down and 10. Handoff, Obarle picking his spots, going up the middle, then cutting it off to the left. Wood makes the tackle. Let's see where they're going to spot that ball. But another pretty good-looking play for Obarle. They're going to get inside the 10-yard line.
Well, you see here on the replay, they ran a man in motion to kind of pull the defender's eyes that to the right side. And then, of course, they come back to that left hole. And Obarle was able to gain 3 or 4, and that's a nice run. But they have not ran a lot of big plays.
Yeah, actually, they're only going to mark him for a 2-yard gain. Nick Abramson, the linebacker, Dan, able to shoot the gap and get into the backfield that time. But Obarle made a nice move to get away from him. All right, the crowd really gets pumped up this time. 2nd down and 7. They're going to call that last play a 3-yard gain. Handoff, Obarle picking his spots. He's going to stop for another short gain as they unpile them there. And another good stop that time by Los Lomas. Just a couple more yards for Obarle.
Well, take away the motion guy, and you pretty much have the same play, same cast of characters.
And I'm telling you, Dan, Abramson for the, actually that was Wood that time. No, actually it is Abramson, excuse me, getting back into the backfield 2nd time in a row, but both times Obarle able to elude him in the backfield. All right, 3rd down and 4 now from the 7 for Campolindo. Stevens back. Looking, now he wants to step up, gets a block, runs left side, Stevens inside the 5, touchdown Campolindo.
Great recognition that time. The kid is a scrambler. That's the 3rd time he's gained significant yardage, and that time a huge play as they scored a touchdown on 3rd down.
Well, that time, Dan, they go 48 yards, and it's Stevens going over from about the 4-yard line for the touchdown, about the 7-yard line, excuse me, for the touchdown. And now pending the extra point, it is now 16-7 in favor of Campolindo. So they get the turnover, Dan, take advantage, a nice drive. Stevens, some very good decisions, and now trying to go back up by 10. Atanzana, snap the hole, the kick is up, the kick is good. And with 6:28 to go here in the 3rd quarter, the Campolindo Cougars have tacked on a 10-point lead, and you see the nice block there. And then able to run to the outside. And then, again, Stevens able to pick his spots, Dave, and kind of set up his blocks that time in order to find some room.
Absolutely, and he has 5 carries for 48 yards now. So one of our candidates for tonight's player of the game with his passing and probably close to over 200 yards of total offense for Mr. Stevens. Los Lomas is going to have to come back. Now, the thing is they have not been quick hits so far, the way Campo is. You can see Stevens has passed for 177. He's ran for 48. Heck of a night for him.
You talk about the defense for Los Lomas, Dan, a defense that's giving up only about 12 points a game and already 6:28 to go. And we've seen Campolindo, I don't want to say move the ball at will, Dan, but they already have 17 points and kind of had their way with a very impressive defense.
They have close to 300 yards of total offense. And as I was mentioning, and they kick the ball over here again. I don't know.
Antonzano's got a great leg. This is going to be a take to the 35. No fair catch this time, Dan. And out of bounds at about the 37-yard line. And now the Los Lomas fans want a late hit over here on the near side, but they're not going to get the flag.
That time, I guess that's what they're trying to do is just kick it short. But, you know, they're out of bounds at the 38. I just kick it out of bounds. It's 3 yards.
And also, you think about Christian Antonzano, he's got a really good leg.
I know. I don't. So, unless Robert Howe has done a lot of punt returning that we are not aware of in our limited knowledge of high school sports here in the last 3 years, Tony.
Yeah. You want to avoid that big return.
We might know that next year.
Sometimes that's what it is. Why give them a chance for a big play? All right, they're going to go to the Z-back this time, going over there to the near side, and going to be dragged down for a loss that time. Beautiful play by Campolindo as they really sniffed it out. That time you had Ardell Romez trying to go around that right side. That's the Z-back that we were talking about, Dan. We were talking about they're looking for the big play going to the outside. Not there this time.
That was Carl Thornton who treated Mr. Romez rather rudely.
Oh.
Can you say that one?
Boy.
5 times. Treated Mr. Romez rather rudely.
I could really say that even once, but spinning him around like a top to finish the play. Going to be a loss of 1 back to the 38-yard line. They're lucky it was only 1. All right, Wood back. Throws over the middle. He's got a man at first down for Los Lomas. Out past midfield, it's Brayton Milner, the tight end. And he makes the catch. That'll be good for 12 yards and a nice first down.
Good protection that time. Milner separates from the linebacking crew. Gaziano was covering him. And right out at midfield, right in front of us, Tony, we have a first down for Los Lomas. Still plenty of time.
And remember, Los Lomas got down by 10. What did they do? came right back with a touchdown drive. They're down by 10 again and trying to move it. Started this drive from their own 38-yard line. And now up to midfield here to operate with 5:20 and counting here. Handoff trying to go up the middle with Villa, and he is hit immediately and spun down. A host of tacklers on the play, trying to see who got there first for Campolindo. It looked like it was number 6, Nate McDonald, but there were a host of white shirts on that play and stacked up very well by the Campo defense.
Very nice. It was McDonald, and then a number, or as they like to say, the interior line of Campolindo. You hear that a lot in the stadiums around.
Yeah, sometimes, they credit tackles, but sometimes it's just a team tackle,
Yeah,
although looks like Nate got there first that time.
Nate and the team on that tackle.
All right. No gain on that play, Dan. Second down and 10, still from midfield here for Los Lomas. Trailing 17-7. Interception on their last drive. The Cougars turned that into a touchdown drive. Now Wood split backs behind him. Play action fake. Throwing over here to the near side. It's going to be incomplete. And looking for Robbie Ow coming over here to the near side. A little bit too high, but Campo had that pretty well covered again.
Well, if you notice now, as you start to see some patterns developing here, is that Wood has had some problems when he goes to the sidelines. When he goes down the middle of the field, he's been able to complete some passes. So they're going to – the problem is they still got time. They go down. Can they come quickly? If they're down by 3 with 2 minutes to go, can they go 80 yards in 2 minutes with this offense?
They can, but so far they haven't displayed that tonight.
Yes, that's the key.
So Robert Ow, that last time on that flare pattern, Dan, very well covered. So from the shotgun this time, rolling right, throws, it's going to be caught, and that's going to be first down yardage. And they're going to mark forward progress inside the 40 down to the 39-yard line. And it looked like Carson, the tight end. So one tight end, Milner for a first down. Carson, the other tight end, for another first down. And the Los Lomas Knights do, in fact, move the chains.
As I mentioned, anywhere near the hash marks, he's able to complete those throws. They're going to have to work the middle of the field, Tony, I believe, to keep this offense moving and get another first down or a number of first downs that they need to get into the end zone. But if you notice, outside, not so much. Inside, plus the tight ends have been very prevalent in the offense tonight.
Pass catching kind of by committee for Los Lomas. They work a lot to the tight ends, which we're seeing. Here's Villa picking his spot going up the middle. He's got a first down out down to about the 30-yard line. So Villa for 10 yards and a first down. It looks like Pyatt and Graziano there for the tackle for Campolindo.
And when that was your safety and a linebacker here. You can see separation. He got past the linebacking crew that time, and that's why such a nice run that time by Villa. Villa's just kind of piecing it together, chunk after chunk after chunk.
And that time, Dan, what a good running back always needs, a block from the fullback, and McGough gave him that good block that time. First down to 10 from the 29 after the 11-yard gain. Here's Villa trying to pick his spot this time, Dan. Kind of like sort of went parallel with the ground and able to be tripped up. Salmoniago able to make the tackle. Number 52 for Campolindo.
I wonder if his nickname is the Padre.
I would call him Sammy.
He'd be the Sammy Niego Padre.
I like Sammy.
I just wonder.
I like it short and sweet.
It sounds like San Diego, so I thought,
Couple of yard gain now to the 27 for Villa on that last carry. Here comes Ow in motion. They're going to hand it to him. He's going to cut it up the middle, and he's going to met rather quickly there. And it looked like Lomas able to come up and make the tackle. Now we've got a flag on the play. Lomas actually on the carry that time, the Z-back, but we're going to have a flag. And we're going to check the call here. Looks like he picked up about 4 or 5, but it looks like Los Lomas is already heading backwards. And this one will go against the Knights, holding against the offense. So they'll take that one from the spot of the foul. And Lomas will actually get credit, Dan, for the 4-yard pickup, and they're going to mark him backwards. They're going to mark him back. He's going to go out past the 35 to about the 37-yard line. That'll cost them 8 yards. So it'll be second down and 16 now for Los Lomas.
Just 3 penalties on the Knights. Very few penalties. And if you watch football around these parts, you know that's not the norm.
Sometimes the game can take forever because they're always picking up the laundry. Shotgun formation now. Back to pass. Rolling left. Throws. He's got a man. And he's going to be inside the 10, inside the 5. That is going to be a big play for Lomas and very near a Los Lomas touchdown. And the Knights going to get all the way down to the 5-yard line. A 32-yard pass and catch for Los Lomas.
This is a play where just about everything was wrong. He rolled to his opposite side, threw off of his back foot, and he hasn't had a lot of success to the sideline, but for some reason that play worked, and Romez was wide open, and he takes it down into the red zone, and Los Lomas is right there knocking on the door.
Well, you talk about a big play right there following that penalty, Dan, long yardage situation. But they pick up 32 yards and the first down, and Romez, the Z-back, you talk about him running the football, Dan, but he also catches it.
Well,
and a great job by Wood.
Ran for 308, caught 13 passes for 200.
Off, up the middle, touchdown. And let's see who that is. That's Villa for the touchdown. So he's got now 13 touchdowns on the season. And more importantly for Los Lomas, it's a one-score game. And now the PAT can bring them within a field goal. So 62 yards on the drive for Los Lomas, and they're back in business. 4 carries for 85 yards. 19 carries for 85 yards for Villa on the night. And a pair of TDs. And now he comes with the extra point. So here's Mitch Howard to try to get Los Lomas within a field goal. Snap the hole. The kick is good. And with 2:33 to go here in the third quarter, we are back to a 3-point game, 17-14 in favor of Campolindo. Again, Dan, the Cougars take the 10-point lead, and right away when they go back on offense, Los Lomas responds.
Well, you can see the shorter the field for Los Lomas, the better the result. 65 and 68-yard drives. When they're back, here's another look at it. This time, looked like they were going to run off to the left side as they have been, but Villa cuts it back up the middle and easily into the end zone touchdown. Knights 17-14, and this game is living up to its billing.
You know, and sometimes, Dan, they don't really provide them a hole. Talk about the front line for Los Lomas. There's not really a hole there, but the push is so significant. Once they get pushed back, there's always a crease, and Villa seems to find it every time. All right, Howard getting set to kick off. Excuse me, Dan.
I'm just going to say Campo's going to have to find a way to take a little bit of time off this clock, too. They can't go 3 and out. They need to, and as we said, they like the big play. They like to throw the ball. They haven't thrown an interception tonight. The interception led to their last touchdown, so we'll have to see what Mr. Macy has up his sleeve here.
All right, there's the kickoff. Going to be taken at the 1-yard line. Out across the 5, going far side, out across the 10, and a big hit, dropping about the 12-yard line. So 11 yards on the return, and that's where Campolindo will set up shop. And Greg Corbin, number 17, came up to make the tackle. Take another look. There's Carl Thornton. As you can see him turn the corner there, and then bam.
Oh, well, Corbin was the last guy there. There was another Knight there as well. I couldn't pick up his
Kyle
number.
Hill, number 21, was also in on that play. As you take a look at the Knights sideline. So what a great ball game we've got here from Walnut Creek. 2:27 to go. And now 1st and 10 from their own 12 for Campolindo. So here's Stevens under center. Let's see if Campo can put together a drive of their own. Stevens, short drop with time. Throws out here on the far side, on the near side rather. It's going to be juggled and incomplete. Pass incomplete that time, intended for Griffin Pyatt. And again, he juggled, he couldn't hold on to it this time, Dan, but the ball seemed to float up there just a little bit.
Well, he had plenty of time. You'll see a double move down here. Here's one move, and now and then a spin out to get outside and go up the sideline. If that ball was just thrown a little bit too high and didn't have the time, but he'd have led him another 5-10 yards, could have been a touchdown.
Boy, you tell that sort of that stop and go on that double move, you never see him take that half spin going one way. It's usually you're looking back at the quarterback, and then you just kind of keep going. But he did a little basketball move, a little pirouette that time.
My favorite route ever, we used to run this out in the Antioch Sunday afternoon tackle games, and that led often to a picnic or other activities in Antioch, as you are well aware. But we won't get into that on a family channel, but we used to run the down and then out and up, which is a sideline, and then you fake and you go straight up
the out and up.
But you got to lead the receiver. You can't throw it up in the air like that.
Yeah, and the whole thing's based on that pump fake. Can you
get
sell
that
the out route?
One step, boom, you're done.
All right, so 2nd down and 10 now from the 12-yard line. Clock stopped with 2:20 to go here in the third quarter. Anthony Schultz, along with Dan Wall, back in the saddle here at one of our favorite stomping grounds, one of the best venues that we come to right here at Los Lomas High School.
The first game we ever did when we joined forces over here with Mr. Bolander was here against College Park. J.C. Lewis, the great quarterback who played here back him, and Steve Lynn. I always remember Steve Lynn because he played safety and quarterback for College Park that night, and we used to say Lynn again. That was his nickname. And he told me that the kids at school nickname him Lynn again.
Lynn again.
After that, he used to come and thank me for his nickname. I said, "Well, it's better than some of the things I've been called, Steve. Let me tell you that."
But we did some good games, and I remember some of those games, Dan, where you'd be expecting a good game. Remember, we'd go out, you guys would pick the games, and so, oh, we don't want to pick this game. That's going to be a blowout. That would turn out to be the great game, and the one we picked, well,
be at the blowout.
Yeah.
Yes. This one is, as we mentioned, living up to the billing tonight.
Certainly is. A 3-point game, 2:20 to go. Second down and 10 for Campolindo from their own 12-yard line. Man coming in motion, and it looks like Los Lomas jumped. Well, let's see if they were drawn off or not.
That is offsides, or one of my favorite terms, encroachment.
That is encroachment, and the referee, Dave Kutea, telling us what just happened, and that'll be 5 free ones for the Cougars. So that was probably just one of those hard counts that you get, and the defense getting a little jittery, getting a little edgy. Can't stay in one place.
A little nippy out here tonight, Tony. It's amazing how this week it was 80.
85.
And the wind was blowing 60 miles an hour. Then it rained, and now it's like 50.
All right, second and 5 now from the 17-yard line for the Cougars. Stevens back to pass, gets some protection. Now they try to throw a little inside screen. Tackle is broken that time, out across the 30, close to first down yardage. Nicely done that time, and that's Connor Rosenbaum. And, boy, you saw Connor able to break a tackle because, look, Dan, Los Lomas has this one sniffed out very well.
Just broke a tackle there. That's sometimes the play works.
Boy, and I tell you,
sometimes it doesn't really work, but you can make it work. And that time Rosenbaum added on the extra
yardage.
yardage.
He did, because Derek Stom was able to shed the block, and he was right there, but could not pull the ball carrier down. That's a first down to 10 out to the 25-yard line. So 8 yards on that catch and run. Throw deep down the far side. Well covered that time. And looked like they were intending to go to Carl Thornton. And the play was made by Cole Gravitt. They're the sophomore cornerback. And, boy, did he have great coverage that time on the outside, on the island, all by himself, one-on-one.
Pretty impressive, a sophomore covering one of the best players on the other sideline. But that's something about Coach Longero. He's never been afraid to use a guy if I don't care how old he is, what he does, he's had kickers line up as defensive ends, and I think even one time he suggested Steve Sanchez for a option quarterback slot, but we nixed that idea.
Second down and 10 for the 25. 3 wide receivers spread this time for the Cougars. Short dropped out, throwing it outside to the near side. Picks up a block, 30, 35, 40. Racing across midfield, 40. And then tackled inside the 40. Down to about the 37-yard line. Abramson making the tackle. And, boy, that is Thornton on that big catch and run. And look at him getting a block here on the outside. And when wide receivers are blocking, Dan, good things happen in the passing game.
And that was about 1 inch away from being a pick. He got there right as the ball was caught. You're out there blocking before the pass,
well, and you
talk
talk about
lead
that.
To some trouble.
Griffin Pyatt making the big plays earlier, and he's obviously one of the focal points of this offense. That time making the big block to spring his teammate for a huge gain and a first down.
One thing as the yardage piles up, the rack yardage tonight is incredible. It's got to be 80% of their offense is run after catch. And now we have another timeout.
Another timeout. Following that huge gain down, it's going to be timeout for Campolindo.
Here's some stats, Tony, just to run you through them. Stevens has only completed 9 of 19, but for 224 yards. Of course, his target, Pyatt, 5 catches for 140 yards. So it was advertised as the Stevens, Ibarle, Pyatt versus the Wood, Villa, and Lomas kind of show, and that's pretty much what we've got here tonight.
And a show.
You paid
really
for the stars, and you're getting the stars.
So the cheerleading squad here at Los Lomas. A nice look at the venue here on a crisp, cool night here in Walnut Creek, but a beautiful night. The stars are out. And I heard earlier that there was some talk of chance of rain, but we have not seen any of that so far this evening, thank goodness. And it's been a fantastic night here and a well-played football game after that 37-yard catch and run to Thornton. First down and 10 from the 37-yard line of Los Lomas. Here comes Thornton in motion, going to the far side. Stops and comes back. Quarterback almost tripped down that time, but somehow gets the ball out to the left side. Breaks a tackle 20, stays in bounds 10, 5, touchdown! Los Lomas Ibarle, on a play. Touchdown Campolindo, and that looked like it had disaster written all over it.
Broken play. The quarterback fell, and he just barely, and you know in this league, you fall, you put your knee down, you're done right there.
37 yards on the touchdown run for Ibarle.
Got it out now. Ibarle, 10 carries, 58 yards, and a touchdown, and you could see, as you mentioned, nearly a disaster. They turned it into a pot of gold.
Boy, and looked like that Los Lomas had a chance to make the tackle initially, Dan. And here we go with the special teams and the kick for number 44.
That's our buddy.
Antazana.
I know that's a hard one for you.
And knocks that one through, makes it 24-14.
I've always said I think they should let us change names that are too hard to pronounce in the fast-paced world of football.
When I talked to Coach Longero earlier in the week, Dan, he talked about the Miramani game, and they missed a couple of tackles, and the Mats took advantage of those. The Matadors were able to score off of those missed tackles, had one right there. It looked like they had the corner sealed up and then couldn't keep Ibarle with all that speed
I would
going down the
say
sideline.
that is why they're losing tonight.
Yeah.
Missed tackles and big plays. You know, Campolindo had been stopped there, especially in the second quarter. They seemed to find some defense to stop them. They kind of closed those gaps inside, but now they're running once again. It's like they're finding something else to go to. That time was Ibarle outside, not inside where he's ran a lot tonight. Going to a tight end, rolling out the quarterback. A little different look here now in the third quarter, and that's what a good coach will do.
Yeah, and a multifaceted offensive game here. That time it's an 88-yard drive with the big play going to Ibarle, the 37-yard scamper for the touchdown. And with 1:02 to go here in the third, it's 24-14 in favor of Campolindo. So Antazana to kick off, and this time he's going down the field, and they've been listening to you. Taken here inside the 5 at the 3, to the 10, out across the 15, and hit and dumped at the 20. So a 17-yard gain there for Al on the return, and that's where the Los Lomas Knights will set up shop 1st and 10. And again, Dan, under a minute to go here in the third, they trail by 10.
Yeah, I was just thinking it must be confusing at times with Al out there if you're hurt. Because if you're the quarterback, you might say, Al, and they might think he's hurt or calling for maybe an audible or something else for that.
Sometimes Dan Wall, with his humor, okay, I get that. But right on point, Dan, with the kickoffs. They go with the deep kickoff, and look where they're starting out.
Well, see, I do have an occasional value up here in the booth.
From the 20, Stevens hands to Villa, and Villa able to stumble his way out across the 20 down to about the 24-yard line. So we'll pick up a 4 yards on first down. We'll bring up 2nd down and 6.
Can't always see those numbers, Tony.
They're pretty tough.
Well, one thing, too, people don't realize is that in pro football, you have to wear numbers on your shoulders as well. And in high school, you don't. And those are called TV numbers. That's why
and they make those jerseys specifically so we can see those numbers from far away.
And I remember a game at Deer Valley once where those jerseys were so dark and wet we couldn't call through binoculars what numbers the guys were wearing.
Here's Wood rolling, fires downfield, got him out. It's going to be intercepted. Intercepted at the 48-yard line, inside the 40 of Los Lomas and down to the 39. Griffin Pyatt, second interception of the ball game, had 4 coming in, give him 6. And this is nothing new, Dan, for Campolindo. Earlier in the season, they had a 5-interception game, and they had a 6-interception game. They've got a couple here tonight, and a bad spot for Los Lomas to turn it over.
Well, this is a place in high school football where you can get burned a lot of the times. Cornerback play, and Campolindo looks like they have some great defensive backs. And one of them right there is Pyatt, who made a great read on that play, followed his receiver. And Wood is, when he throws to the sideline, they are not having a lot of success. They had one pass play that really gained him a lot of yards.
Jackson Miller was the intended receiver, Dan. He was the starting quarterback earlier in the season before being hurt, and the quarter's now going to come to an end. We are 3/4 of the way home here from Walnut Creek and Los Lomas High School. 24-14, the road team. Campolindo ahead. We'll be back with fourth quarter action right after this.
Northern California's largest community arts program is here in Walnut Creek.
We have over 180 professionals teaching music, dance, drama, and visual arts.
With over 680 classes, workshops, and events.
There are classes for youth, teens, and adults.
With opportunities for beginners through professionals.
Find your spark.
Learn, inspire, grow.
All right, so following the Pyatt interception, Campolindo in business again, already leading here by 10, a fresh 12 minutes on the quarter, and to take you the rest of the way with the play-by-play, here's Dan Wall.
Thank you, Tony. I feel like Dave Fleming. 3 touchdowns in the third quarter. Stevens, a 9-yard run for Campo. Los Lomas came back, made it 17-14 on a Villa 4-yard run. Barley, a 37-yard run to make it 24-14. Stevens, as we mentioned, 224 passing. Barley with on that last one now 59 yards rushing and a touchdown and 140 yards receiving for Pyatt, also 2 interceptions. We'll talk about Los Lomas' offense when they get the ball back. Man in motion, it's Thornton. A handoff is to Thornton. And he is wrapped up.
Boy, caught in the backfield that time. A nice play by the Los Lomas defense.
Looked like it might have been Villa.
To catch him going out to that far side. And this is really one of those situations, Dan, when they're only trailing by 10, a lot of time left, but you know, you look at the Los Lomas offense tonight, Dan, they really can ill afford to fall back by any more.
I would say if Campo scores a touchdown, the ball game's over. If they hold them to a field goal, they might still have a chance with 10 minutes or so left. But they've got to stop turning the ball over themselves. They've had 2 and a fumble that stopped another drive, even though it would have been a turnover on downs. 3rd and 11. Stevens gets out again. This is the 3rd time he's done it, and he has a first down inside the 30, down to about the 27-yard line. A gain of 13, first down, and Stevens running now tonight.
Boy, able to make a man miss.
61 yards, Tony.
Beautiful run here, Dan. Look at him take a defender right out of his shoes, and you can see the defender's lunging. Nearly broke another tackle, but finally it was number 21, Kyle Hill, coming up to make the tackle, but that has just got to be a real headache for Los Lomas. You think you have the play stopped, and the quarterback just takes off and runs and turns it into goal.
That's the 3rd time he's come out of that pack. It looked like Los Lomas had some pressure on him, and he's turned into positive yardage. This is Thornton on an end around. And a gain of close to 5 yards. It'll be 2nd and 5 as the clock runs with 10:34 to go here in the 4th quarter. And if Campolindo wins, they win the Diablo Foothill Athletic League title outright. That'll give them the automatic home game as the champion over there in Moraga. But I think Los Lomas and even Marimani have a good possibility of being in the playoffs. As a matter of fact, I pretty much guarantee it.
Yeah, I would say so. With
and Dublin's kind of hanging on by their skin of their teeth, but they have a shot as well. Fake the end around, and they hand off. That's number 32, Rosenbaum, the fullback, and he just plugs ahead for about 4. It's going to be 3rd and short.
Yeah, just right up the middle that time.
Actually, he got a first down, Tony. Excuse me.
Yeah, you fake one way. It looks like it's going outside. That does help to create a little more room as you get the defense kind of on skates. And Rosenbaum able to pick up good yardage and the first down. So a couple of runs here to pick up a first down after the quarterback run and scramble for the first down on a big 3rd down play earlier in the drive.
First down from the 16. Rosenbaum again inside, and he gains 4. It'll be 2nd and 6, 9:30 to go, clock running. And Campolindo now is doing exactly what you want to do.
Yeah, I mean,
short burst, take time off the clock.
you do so many things to open the game up, Dan, and now when you're kind of in a situation you lead by 2 scores, you want to take some time off the clock, the ability to go from one style of play to the other style of play makes him so flexible and so successful. And we talked about it, Dan, their prognosticator said last place, 5-5, a loss in the first round, and a lot of injuries last year, a big part of why nobody thought they were going to do much this year.
Well, they're a little banged up coming to this game, but the big players have performed well. This is Stevens with a keeper, and he dives ahead to about the 7. It's going to be just shy of the first down, bringing up 3rd and short. But another minute goes off the clock, Tony, and every minute that goes off the clock is another opportunity to score that goes away for Los Lomas.
Yeah, and Willie Kirsch that time, number 92, able to get into the backfield and at least trip him up, Dan, and that could have been a much bigger play. It looks like Stevens had some more room, but Kirsch able to get there and at least slow him up a little bit and let his friends come up and do the rest.
3rd and 1 from the 7. Campolindo trying to get in and pretty much put the nail in the coffin of the Los Lomas Knights with the touchdown here. That's a big back that time. That's number 47 running the ball, Jamie Vega, and he's going to be very close to a first down.
Kevin Macy, Dan, in his 16th year. 08, they had an undefeated league champs. They lost to Newman in the playoffs. In 09, Dan, they were 5-5. Lost to Fortuna in the first round. So a couple of sort of mediocre years for Campolindo coming up until this season. So the prognosticators, as we talked about, Dan, probably, well, come on, 5-5 a couple of years in a row. Don't have to worry about them. This hasn't been the way people thought. And they made the playoffs, Dan, all but 4 years in Macy's tenure. The last time they missed was back in 04.
First down for Campo. The ball's at the 5-yard line. Rosenbaum straight ahead. And he keeps battling. That kid, I'll tell you what, he's hard to bring down. 44, the tight end going both ways. Kerry Carson made the tackle.
Take a look at it here. Just kind of smashes his way there. And there's Carson hanging on. Kind of pushing each other around. Just kind of the old smash mouth style of football is what it's turned into here. And unfortunately for Los Lomas, it's pretty successful here for Campolindo as more time continues to wind off that clock.
2nd down from the 3. Oh, Stevens, naked bootleg, left side, no one there, touchdown. He hands the ball to the ref, and the ref says, nice game, kid.
Yeah.
Because this one is pretty much over with.
Just steps a half a foot into the end zone and just very quietly, Dan, very politely, I might add, handing the ball to the referee. Touchdown Campolindo, 2nd scramble and run for a TD for Stevens here tonight, and a big part of this game, Dan, not only with his arms, but with his legs.
That was the previous play with Rosenbaum. And if we can see this this play right here, there's the naked bootleg. And Stevens could have pretty much ran back to Moraga, it looks like, on that play. He's responsible for, it is 3:01. The extra point is up, and it's good, 31-14. Stevens has 301 yards of total offense tonight. I have a feeling he might be one of the guys you talked to in the postgame
It
wrap.
looks like it. I mean, he's really been exceptional tonight, and boy, that last fake. And as we saw our camera here sort of pan out to the far side of the field, not a red jersey in sight.
No, that was a great fake, and he went right in. Tony, the 2 interceptions have really hurt Los Lomas.
Just absolutely killed him, because Campolindo able to turn those into points. And we talked about all the success Macy's had. Another look at the Stevens touchdown run, his 2nd rushing touchdown of the night. And listen to where some of these guys that he's had here, where they've ended up. Remember, we talked about Nick Graziano, the league MVP as a senior, one of the top quarterbacks. You're talking about Phil Galligan, was the best wide receiver. Alex Bro, he went to Harvard. Galligan to Dartmouth. Sean Falzer went to somewhere in Iowa, to Grinnell in Iowa. But you're talking about a lot of Ivy League schools here, Dan. I mean, so not only do you have good athletes and good players, but they're pretty smart as well.
That helps.
That helps. Here's Kevin Macy over there on the sideline.
They went back to their kick, Tony. And a fair catch at the 32-yard line called by number 6.
Now, here's a name that you
David
might remember.
Bryce, not Breeze.
Talk about one of the other Campolindo fine players, Joe Splendario. Another Ivy League school, Dan, Cornell.
Oh,
Okay, they study a lot there apparently. And he's made the Cornell All-Century team and is going into the Cornell Hall of Fame.
Wow.
So somehow, Dan, not only playing football, playing sports here up in Moraga, but hitting the books a little bit too, apparently.
Las Lomas takes over at the 30-yard line. 7 minutes to go. They need 3 touchdowns. And there's a good start as Villa gets 12 straight up the gut. First down, Las Lomas. But Tony, Las Lomas has turned out a couple of guys as well. Jason Welch, you might remember, was a great wrestler here. He won all the awards, all 4 years he was here, and he's went on to not success in the WWE, but at Northwestern he was 6th in the country last year and an All-American. Andrew Shapiro is the kicker at Fresno State, and one of our other, Corey Paclabar, playing at the University of Hawaii. And Vela now 21 carries, 103 yards, and 2 scores. Wood will throw. Has plenty of time. Lofts one downfield. Has a receiver running in the open. But once again, guess who's there to break that up? Griffin Pyatt, who's having a fabulous game.
Another great play by Pyatt. Ball kind of hung up there a little bit, but good coverage all the way down the field, even though the double team was beaten just slightly. But then Pyatt able to recover as that ball hung up a little bit in the air, able to come over there and break it up. So Doug Longero, as take a look at the officials, 13th season. Lost in the first round of the playoffs to Washington last year, Dan, but NCS title game 6 times, and they won it 3 times. East Bay title winner back in 07, lost to Novato in that NCS title game that season. There's a lot of success on this Las Lomas side as well.
Wood to throw, crossing pattern. Romez has a first down. 3 Cougars there. Samaniego was there with Perry and Graziano. That's a sandwich to take those 3 guys on. But you see, Romez is a guy that can do both things very well. Good receiver out of the backfield, can run. And now Las Lomas, you know, they get a couple things going here, maybe an onside kick. Weirder things have happened, Tony.
Still over 6 minutes to go, so there's still some time with which to work for the Knights.
Draw play to Villa. Villa close to a first down. So 3 consecutive plays, gains of more than 10. And Las Lomas is moving the ball down the field. Unfortunately for them, Tony, the clock just might not have enough seconds on it for them.
No, and trailing by 3 scores, really Campolindo kind of content to let them pick up some chunks of yardage here, Dan, and not really worried about it. They just want to make sure they don't get the one big play to get that touchdown.
Little throw. Tipped at the line of scrimmage that time and incomplete.
You know, we talked about where some of the players from the Campolindo side have gone over the years, Dan, and Ryan Luke graduated in 01. He went to Kansas. Dan Albana, who's now the defensive coordinator here, he went to Davis. Talked about J.C. Lewis, graduated in 03. What a great player he was, the quarterback. Went to Southern. Brendan Swisher, boy, and went to Princeton, Dan. Another Ivy League guy.
Big tight end. Great, fun guy to watch. Here's another big gain for Villa, and he's going to gain 9 out to the 23-yard line. It's going to be close to a first down, but 5:48 on the clock.
Take a look at that, Dan, just going right up the middle, finding a nice hole before being taken down. But still, Campolindo, this is kind of okay with them, Dan, because all they want to make sure to do is cover an onside kick following this drive, even if it does culminate in a touchdown.
Wood to throw, second down, looking. Now he backs up, flushed out of the pocket, being chased, and that'll do it. Finally, a sack here as Perry and number 47, Jamie Vega, were there. And Wood really nowhere to go there that time, Tony.
Does this remind you of the way he's kind of backing up here? I'm kind of thinking about one of those old Super Bowl highlights with Greasy chased by Larry Cole and Bob Lilly. You just keep backing up, hoping you find some room. But unfortunately for Wood, he finds no room as Perry is able to come up there and get the sack.
That'll hurt him. 17-yard loss. Second down and 24 for the Knights at the 37-yard line. Fourth quarter, Campo up by 17. Nice pitch this time, once again, to the tight end. And I would think that number 18 that time makes the catch. That's Brayton Milner. But when you review this game, you're going to look at all the success you've had going over the middle and all the non-success you've had going to the sideline. Might be something to remember as you move forward in this season.
You know, Brayton Miller, very tough to go over there, Dan, because you got to go up high to make those catches. You know somebody's going to come pop you right in the ribs.
Gain of 16, 3rd and 1. I checked that, 3rd and 11. Lomas, incomplete, a great hit, saved a touchdown. That was number 2, Carl Thornton. And he did not make that catch. You watch this hit, took the ball right out of Lomas' hands. It was a good pass.
Yeah, trips right. They've got Lomas open, able to make the catch, and then just stripped by Thornton coming around, able to grab that left arm down and just kind of pull it to one side and sort of separate receiver from ball. Nicely done by Thornton.
And he's another guy that's been having a very nice game tonight. 4:15 to go. Las Lomas calls a timeout. They have 1 left. And there's a look at the Campo sideline. And this is really the last chance for Las Lomas here, Tony.
Yeah. Rocco's Ristorante and Pizzeria, thanks so much for the pie. Love to have that pregame meal.
I like the tortellini, too, if you're there for dinner. It's a
I've
little
got
hard
the
to eat up
salads.
here when you're having announcing gigs and stuff, but salads and the Sierra Nevada is always nice and cold. TV comes home, YouTube.com, City of Walnut Creek, Facebook, Twitter, all those popular media outlets, Tony, that Kim Kardashian has hijacked.
I'm a big social media geek.
You are a social
I
media geek?
absolutely love it. That's where all my friends are. I'm up to 8.
So you went from just being a geek to being a social media geek in the 3 years we've been off the air.
You could say that.
And I did. 4th down. Wood to throw in the pocket, and he is sacked again. Tui was there, and Perry once again. And that'll about wrap this one up, Tony.
A couple of big sacks for that Campolindo defense on this drive. Last gasp for Las Lomas. And you see the pocket collapsing and good coverage down the field because initially, Dan, the sight lanes were there, the time was there. But unfortunately, the coverage is just too good by Campolindo, and finally the quarterback runs out of time.
So barring a miracle. But then again, I suppose if you're a Raider fan, you're going to say, now wait a minute. Remember Monday night when Phillip Rivers fumbled the ball?
Oh, boy.
All they had to do was
Kick
put a
a
knee
field
down and
goal,
kick
yeah.
a field goal. So anything can still happen. But if you had $50 to bet, I think right now you'd say this is a pretty good bet that Campolindo's going to win.
A 3-score game, that's a tough one to overcome. 2 scores, I figure anything can happen, Dan, but 3 scores, tall order. Boy, that's Villa flying up there to make that tackle, Dan.
Yeah, Barley was the runner. Not much there that time, but they don't care. They just want the clock to run.
And just
Each
hold
team
on
has
to the
2
football.
timeouts, Tony.
The key to this is, Campolindo won't mind punting the football here, Dan. They just don't want to fumble. They want to take as much time off as they can and then kick this ball back. And if they pick up a first down or 2, they can just sort of salt this one away.
This is Las Lomas' last home game as they presented the seniors and the cheerleaders earlier tonight. They'll play at Acalanes. They might get a home playoff game, though, if they finish 8-2. Andy Barley again, left side, down the sideline, and a nice gain. Out of bounds at the 29-yard line. They're going to call it a little shorter than where I thought he went out. It'll be 3rd and 5.
Well, Dan, very shortly, I am going to leave you to head down to the field for our post-game interview. And I think with the way Stevens threw the ball and the way he ran the ball, I think I'm going to get the quarterback on camera here tonight.
It'd be interesting if he could catch the ball because I think he would probably have tried. Now, he did a great job tonight. I wonder if Campolindo's ever had a complete undefeated season as Barley has tackled behind the line of scrimmage. Number 51 came in, made that tackle, Tanner Hill. And this will force a punt, but the clock's running. It's close to 3 minutes. Wonder if Campos ever went 10-0 in a season. I'm sure at some point, probably back in the past they have.
They've gone undefeated through the season, but didn't complete the entire season unbeaten. But I will leave you now, Dan, and I will gather up Brett Stevens here for our post-game interview.
No, I don't know. We'll see it. Someone's got to leave to go do the interview. So Campo's going to punt, and Las Lomas will have one more crack at it here with 2:36 to go. Short kick, And it does not take a good bounce, touched at the 40, so that's a 15-yard punt according to Dave Jackson. 2:25 left here in the ball game. 31-14 Campolindo. It's been great being back on the air here with Matt Bolander and his crew. As we mentioned, Campolindo has a bye next week. Their season is complete after tonight due to the fact that there's an uneven amount of teams in the DFAL. But Los Lomas will take a short bus ride over to Acalanes and play their final game. That was Villa again. And between Villa and Barley, probably 90% of the carries in this game have went into their hands. Under 2 minutes now left in the ball game. Wood short drop, throws, sideline, and now a cutback by number 6, David Brees, or Bryce. Have we decided which one we're going to call him yet, Dave? Okay, yeah. I think it's Bryce. Nice pitch and catch there. First down for Los Lomas at the 26-yard line. 1:32 clock running to go here. It's been a very clean game, very well officiated game. No real situations in this one, which is always great to see. That's actually Miller in the game now at quarterback. So Jackson Miller, who's a 6'4", 210 junior, has replaced Adam Wood in the lineup for Los Lomas. Incomplete pass, clock stops, 1:17 to go. 2nd and 10. Miller rolling, looking and throwing. And that one was thrown low, but it looks like Bryce caught it. They're ruling it a catch at the 16-yard line. So that's a first down. Clock stopped, 1:09 to go. Tony Schultz is going down to the sideline to look for couple of players from the winning team, and at this point it looks like those will be Campolindo Cougars joining Tony. First down from the 16. Handoff. Villa breaking tackles all the way down to the 10-yard line. Couple of Cougars there. Pyatt, who's played a great game, also number 52, Gabe Samaniego. Clock's running, 36 seconds to go. We might get one more playoff in this one. Los Lomas hurries to the line of scrimmage here. Under 25 seconds to go. Miller in the shotgun, looking to the end zone, throws, has a receiver, touchdown. Number 18, Brayton Milner, the tight end, who's made a number of nice plays tonight. In the right corner of the end zone, a penalty flag down. They might take this away. Oh no, it's against Campo. So it is, the touchdown will count. It's a personal foul at the end. So Milner gets the touchdown reception of 16 yards. The penalty was a personal foul on Campo. It'll be penalized on the kickoff. And Los Lomas will go to 2 to try to make it 31-22. Miller in the shotgun again. 3 wide receivers. Left side man in motion is Al. Miller looking for Al. Not there. Throws. Back corner end zone tip. And then caught. And it's good. Number 6 came out of nowhere. David Bryce. And he makes the catch. 31-22. So Los Lomas making it a little bit more respectable as they tack on 8 points there with a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. But only 16 seconds left to go. Here's a replay. You can see Miller through this one. This is the touchdown pass to Miller. Miller to Milner. And then Bryce made the catch on the extra point conversion. 31-22. So Campolindo is going to finish the season 10-0. And they're going to win the Diablo Foothill Athletic League season after being predicted to be the last.
Parking made easy and convenient.
You're good to go.
Now that was easy.
Hi, welcome to Inside Center Rep.
My name is Carrie Lederer, and I'm the curator of exhibitions here at the Bedford Gallery.
Hi there. Welcome to Get Lit.
And that's when I decided to run for the city council.
So exciting.
You're free to explore downtown Walnut Creek. Shopping, dining, and entertainment are only a stop away on the free ride. Catch the free ride trolley from BART, Broadway Plaza, the Leisure Center, or one of its many downtown stops. The free ride stops every 15 minutes to keep your day moving. Check out cccta.org for more information on how you are free to explore downtown Walnut Creek.
Dan Wall back at Los Lomas High School. The final score tonight as we return to the air in Walnut Creek. Campolindo 31, Los Lomas 22. Tony Schultz is down on the field waiting for some post-game interviews, and while we wait, we'll review the scoring. Campolindo jumped out in front 7-0 on a Pyatt 91-yard touchdown reception from Stevens. 7-0 in the first quarter. Antizonic added a field goal of 21 yards, made it 10-0. That was the score after one. Los Lomas the only touchdown in the second quarter via Villa, a 1-yard run. It was 10-7 at halftime, but Campolindo really took over in the second half. Stevens a 9-yard run made it 17-7. Villa a 4-yard run brought Los Lomas back to 17-14. Barley had a 37-yard run down the left sideline, made it Campo 24-14, and after a second turnover, Stevens a 3-yard run, 31-14 Campo. There in the last seconds, Milner, a 16-yard pass from Miller, made it 31-22 after the 2-point conversion, and that's our final score tonight. Campolindo 31 and Los Lomas 22. Let me look over Dave Jackson's shoulder here. I can get you some stats. There we go. Stevens, 224 yards passing, as we mentioned, rushing 67 yards, so 301 yards of total offense for Brett Stevens tonight. Barley had 58 yards rushing, Rosenbaum 29. Receiving-wise, Pyatt 5 catches for 140 yards and a touchdown. Rosenbaum added 1 catch for 7 and a couple of catches for Thornton, 2 for 45 yards. Graziano also had 2 catches for 38 yards. So Campolindo, we talked about their stars early: Stevens, Barley, Thornton, Pyatt, Graziano, and they all had big games for Campolindo, who finishes the season at 10-0, and they'll await their playoff seeding next week with the bye. For Las Lomas, Wood, 141 yards passing. Villa ran for 137, and you really saw him take over in the second half with some big runs. Not a lot on the receiving end tonight. Al only had 2 catches for 7 yards. Romez had 2 for 23. Carson 2 for 18. Let's look at the total stats for both teams. First downs, Campo 21-17. Total offense, Campo had 380 yards of total offense as we take a look at some of the action from tonight's game. This is the Barley touchdown down the sideline, 37 yards. 380 to 293 offensively for Campo. Running yards, 156 for Campo, 152 for Las Lomas. Passing, 224 for Campo, 141 for Las Lomas. Penalties, 4 for 55 for Campo, 4 for 25 for Las Lomas. And, of course, the big thing in this game were the 2 interceptions pulled in by Griffin Pyatt that led to Campolindo's scores. So we reviewed the stats, we reviewed the scoring. We're still waiting on the sideline for Campolindo. As you can see, there's a big circle of Campolindo supporters and the team, and I'm sure they're getting the message that they've had a great season, and Dave Jackson's proud of you, and we're going to go and win the entire thing in Division III this year, which is a very good possibility for this team. I'm waiting to hear from our producer, the man with the golden touch, Matt Bolander. And I think we're going to have to wrap it up. We're not getting a post-game interview. So, folks, I want to thank Matt for bringing us back. Hopefully we'll be on the air in the winter with some soccer and some basketball, and maybe we'll see you next year on the football field as well. For Tony Schultz, or should I say Anthony Schultz, Dave Jackson, Matt Bolander, our great crew, this is Dan Wall signing off from Walnut Creek, where the final score was Campolindo 31, Las Lomas 22. This has been a Walnut Creek Television production. Good night. We'll see you later this year.